All right. I'm live again. I'm live. It's Saturday, but I'm streaming because I want to play some. We'll see if anybody's out there wants to hang out. See if anybody's on PQ that wanna help out. You know what? I'm gonna take this green thing off here. I was trying to get fancy and hide this thing. You're just gonna have to live with the mic stand in the way. That's that. Let me adjust this. Those of you watching the VOD, it's been cool that people have actually checked out the PQ VODs. Pretty neat. Neat stuff. Oh, that gets rid of me. What's this one look like? I'm switching between the scenes to see if I've got one that's a better one. Nah, not really. We'll just stick with the development one then. It'll be okay. Ahoy, ahoy, mod site. Let me continue scribing. What do I need? Duns, probably not horrible to have. Get in the habit of using it. Yeah, this is Project Quarm. Get some Eminem music in the background. That's done. Oh god, it takes so long to scribe stuff. I hate doing this, but I want to get split up properly. So y'all been stunned. For a light healing into the #1 slot, but I've heard that that I should be using what should I be using? Is it Holy Armor? Courage? One of the other buffs, like a buff, is supposedly a better heal at this level than light healing. In terms of heal to mana ratio. Hey, Siren. We're watching the purple bar. That's what we're doing. I can't tell you how Quarm is so far. I can tell you that I think Zukin's like level 30. Last time I checked, I thought Ollie was 15 or 16, something like that. I am only level 6, level 7. 6. So I haven't played much. I think I've had like 3 or 4 sessions. Not very long. But I wanted to play, and I haven't been able to allocate some time to playing without feeling guilty, and there's a ton of shit that I would like to be doing on Eminem today. But I really also want to play, mainly for Kunark. Like, I want to get this guy leveled up to where my cleric was on Eridune, so that when Kunark comes out and we actually have time to enjoy it, as opposed to how fast it went by on TLP on Eridune. Like, I want to spend some actual time grouping in Kunark. I think it's important. Yeah, if you haven't been in, it's worth trying, Sarenth. Won't cost you anything. Hey, Mask Ask. You played on 7th Hammer way back in the day. So did I. What did you play on 7th Hammer? And were you in a big guild or? Dark Inside said, "Man, I had a weird dream you were my new math teacher for high school, even though I've been out of high school for years. And I suck at math." I don't know if you have to be good at math to be a math teacher. I would assume probably. Dark Inside, did you go out on that second date yet? Small guild played a dwarf paladin, Sir instead. Do you remember a guild named the Dark Exile? From 7th? You think so? Yep. That was the guild that I was in. One of my coworkers, a friend of mine at Sony, was in the Dark Exile, and I transferred my character on the sly over to play with him. What was that? 2000-ish, 2001. That was pretty cool. Missed those old EQ days. Played for a bit, then went over to Final Fantasy 11. Oh, right on. We dabbled with Final Fantasy, but did not play it anywhere near as much as EQ, just because it was hard not to play a ton of EQ while working on it, just to try to stay current with things and stuff. Dark Inside said she called things off over text, but I stayed calm and just said, "I understand." And I said, "I wish you the best and goodbye." She said Spark wasn't there anymore. I'm thinking, oh, she found someone else. Well, at least she was straight up with you, and it sounded like you handled it well. So, congrats. Congrats on being cool. All right, one last spell to memorize, and then we'll go see if we can get killed. We got lots of boat ships. Right on, Dark Inside. That's good of you. The bone chip quest in Caladim, is that, I wonder if... I thought they took it out at launch. but I wonder if it's available now. I wish there was some PQ folks on here that could tell me. I mean, we could always go try it out. Dude, this camera is not my favorite. Not as good as it's gonna look. So in theory, if I head this way, we'll probably get to Kaladin. Is that correct? No, it's incorrect. It's incorrect. That's ass backwards. Gotta go to work at 9:15 and it's 8:18, so you gotta get ready. Right on, Dark Inside, no worries. Hey, Bjork. Right. Now this way. Let's try this. Sirenth, you ought to install it. Why not install it? Why not hop in and play for a little bit? It's Saturday. You ain't got no job. Oh wait, no, that's Friday. Probably correct. Oh my gosh. Oh hey. And Hatchet Man. Whenever I'm running around Fadark, this is the moment of truth. Did I hit the right zone line? I did. Oh no, it's raining. Man, this was so immersive when I first played. This used to be virtual reality. I'd be like, holy shit, that weather effect is so real. So real. It's funny at the lower levels, I'm always worried that the orc runner is gonna run up and smash me from behind. What's up, John? What time is it where you're at? Like 7? Sarenth, are you installing yet? What's going on? You're keeping us waiting. Fabrizio, it kind of works. It's not very great. Third person camera is not very great on PQ. Making breakfast. What are you having? I just had a Queen Rolo from Falafel Queen. The Queen Rolo has chicken though, not falafel, which is good because I'm not really a fan of falafel. Excuse me. Because it's not meat. What's up, Keebsy? How you doing, buddy? Keebs, are you on PQ? Zombucket, I am level 6. Sex is the German word for 6. It's also the gnomish word for sexy. I'm level 6. You're not on here. Why aren't you on here? Keebs, roll up a tune and come carry me. How am I going to get carried through Kunark if you're not around? Who's going to take me to Seb? Keebs, I need you to get with the program, buddy. We've got old days. The good old days. Never even played an emo. Need to learn how to get here. What? Level Up Larry's got a awesome 2-minute guide to get you right in. Level Up Larry, Project Quarm. Are you guys Googling it? Are you searching for it? Keebs, I need you to do it, buddy. I'm not joking. You're the only person that will take me to Plane of Hate. I don't trust anybody else. How am I supposed to be geared up? Thank God the rain stopped. What? That was atmospheric, Fabricio. Ugh, I just had a coffee and I'm yawning. Oh. What the? I need to remap these keys. I'm so used to Monsters and Memories. I am so used to the new awesome hit game, Monsters and Memories. That I got in here and I'm like, this shit just feels awkward. Jeez, speaking of shaman. Ah, wrong keyboard. There we go. Keep said introduced someone new to Eminem the other day. They're going to stream the playtest on the 11th. Nice. Keep in mind that the 11th is a stress test, so we're just checking to make sure all of our bells and whistles work. Jelix Brown says, you guys have made a lot of progress, but now your game looks exactly like EverQuest. Exactly like EverQuest? Are you sure? Are you 100% sure that it is exactly like EverQuest? Jelix. Good morning, Jimster. Being facetious and joking about me playing EQ. I see what you're doing now. Man, I can't spot faceticism. I'm really bad at it. My programming sucks when it comes to sarcasm. Now I get what you're saying. It does look exactly like EverQuest. The game I'm currently playing. Dude, sarcasm does not compute, John. If that's your real name. Going the wrong damn way again. That's what I get for not trusting my instinct. Did I go over the bridge or not? I went over the bridge. Okay, go over the bridge. Through the hole. The gnome was running around hitting skeletons against the game being streamed. I don't know, but it sounds like a cool game, whatever it is. I'm gonna get here and it's gonna suck because Secrets is still gonna have the quest turned off. If a scrappy young guy with a dream to make his own trading card game wanted to work with your team on some sort of TCG adaptation of Monsters and Memories. Do you think it would work, and how likely would that scrappy young guy be to get permission to use the IP? How far along are you with your game idea? And how realistically is this something you've built before? I forget, do you make games? Because I keep trying to convince somebody to make a specific game that involves TCG elements. I am trying to do the Bone Turning Quest organic cacao, but I'm unsure if it's been turned off or not. I heard it was turned off, but I'm curious if it's turned back on. And I forget, is it 1 or 4? Four. Okay, that's what I thought. Why would it be 1? That's not very many. Let's check my experience. And you can't turn them in stacked here, right? No. Jalek said, honestly, just in the pre-planning days, I could be years or lifetimes away from having anything concrete. Which is curious because at some point, if I made enough progress, I'd love to work with an existing IP. If you make progress, hit us up. Or hit me up. Because I'm not joking, I've had an idea for something that requires TCG elements, and we're pretty busy, so I'd feel guilty trying to convince Ali or somebody to work on it. And if it's awesome, oh shit, I forgot. I gotta go sell all this stuff. This happens every time. I'll be honest, I think, isn't it the leather that looks better? I think it's leather on gnomes that looks better than the banded. Yeah. It's all black and dope. It's all in the same room. I've always walked down to this other lady down here. I don't know why I'm playing a cleric again. I really should have just started with my gnome warrior. Opposite the quest guy? I swear. Though I think it's her that I would typically think that I need to sell to. Really? For some reason I didn't think this worked last time I played. What in the world? No way. On P99. I kind of want to save these and convert them to ore. I'll do that shit later. Got no time for hobbies. I barely have time to play. Okay. Thanks for saving me a bunch of time. Organic cacao, you are a lifesaver. Oh my god, I forgot all the hot tea. Okay. Sarenth, I know you've got a lot to do right now, but you should install this game. It's Saturday. You don't have to do it on Saturday. Listen, I should be doing work as well. You and me. We'll be slackers together. No one will know. No one you know watches this stream. No one I know watches this stream. We can both slack from very important work we should be doing, and no one will ever know. How loud is that in your guys' ears right now? I didn't even bother to look. I just turned on my I just went over to bring Streamlabs up so I can see how loud it is. Apologies if it's real loud. Your cat jumps every time. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna do it one more time to see how loud it is on the monitor. It's not that loud. But you're complaining. He's an old cat. Well, I don't want to give him any heart issues or anything. Small Lantern. You know how excited I got when I saw Small Lantern, and then I realized that we're not playing M&M. I'm like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. Small Lantern. Small Lantern is a solid item in M&M, John, but you're not gonna find them like these guys, or you're not gonna find them like Crackstaff, or whatever it is you're saying. Man, I am sleepy right now. Maybe I shouldn't be streaming. Maybe I should be sleeping. This track suits perfect for this indoor merchant environment. Cheery and cozy. Yep. Robert is a genius. I mean, this is our banker music from games, though. Cacao, I'm still wondering why the hell I didn't sell to her before. I did this so much on P99. Maybe Everdune. Trumpet from Hell is an interesting musical addition. Trumpet from Hell needs to actually be a game, an item in M&M. Speaking of Doots, is anybody in here not aware of the fact that we are currently being featured on the MMORPG subreddit? Monsters and Memories, that is. If you haven't already given us an upvote, please consider that. Talking Seagull Lawyer said that's where I first learned about Eminem, actually. That's wild, because for some reason, your name seems familiar. We have, so far, we have had 120,000 people check it out. They show you the little statistics. It's pretty cool. Thank you, Fabricio. Have you seen or played, and if so, do you have any thoughts on Project Gorgon? I have seen and played it. We played it a little bit back in the day when we were first starting M&M. And I was really hoping to get Sandra from Project Gorgon on for an interview. I still want to. I always feel awkward because we have M&M. What's up, Orc Boy? And my thoughts on Project Gorgon are that it's pretty inspiring. The two of them made a game that's that cool. And it's a very cool, very quirky game. And I think for a lot of folks, I could definitely see why they enjoy it. I think their biggest challenge seemed to be, when I checked it out, like their biggest challenge seemed to be early on just getting the art nailed down. Seems like they were using a mix of like purchased assets and stuff they made. But I think they've done a fantastic job with it. They've continued to improve the art over the years. Their website or Steam posting and all that stuff always looks really professional. And they have just a really fun mix of ideas in there, so got nothing but cool stuff to say about Project Gorgon. That's my thoughts. Little shit like the first time I died and got death experience. Thought it was pretty awesome. Have I been... Tell me I've got another belt in here. Hopefully I haven't sold all the belts I've gotten. And shit. I have to give me a belt somewhere. So that was my response, GLX. That's my thoughts on Project Gorgon. I think they are, they actually did help inspire Eminem with the fact that they were able to pull that off. I need a hero. No. Yeah. All right. I need to get something on my waist. Put these on my shoulders. Tight. All right. We're off to the races. Hey, Gummo. Orc Boy, what's going on with you? How have you been? I am so frickin' sleepy. That looks like one of Goblin's murals that he did for Telekir. And he did it completely independent of seeing this, because Goblin's not a big EQ dude. He's more of a wow child. shit's empty. $33 platinum. I am already rich. I'm so rich. Got pretty eyes, but that beard's not cutting it for me. Elraz says, it's kind of a minor thing, but I noticed you're getting small hitches when you do anything in your inventory. Can fix it by adding an exception for TAC-P folder in Windows Defender. Speeds up loading times considerably as well. Oh, interesting. Hey, Hebrew Hammer. Let me look real quick. It's going pretty good, Hebrew Hammer. Just despite having a ton of stuff that I want to do for M&M, I felt like if I didn't commit to playing some today, then I just would not be playing enough Project Quarm. And so with that in mind, I hopped on here and I figured if I'm going to be playing, I might as well be streaming so you guys can help me play correctly and give me advice. Okay, weird. It should be allowed already. I'm not seeing anything that would indicate that that would be a problem. Huh. It's so funny. Every once in a while, a song will come on. I'm like, this is badass. And then I remember that it's for our game. Like, oh man, that's so cool. I was listening to Zukin's most recent live stream while I was out running some errands. And it was cool because the background sound was all our music. Elraz, I took a look and I couldn't see anything that would have indicated that it's not flagged. Jalix says, it's funny you mentioned wanting to interview one of them for the Monsters of Memories. Not interview them for the team. Sorry. I did a bunch of interviews with developers a few years ago. And I wanted to interview them for that, just so they could talk about their work on Project Gorgon. You can find the VODs right there on the link. It's like 60 hours of interviews with EQ people. Wait, did I go the wrong way? Wait, I feel like I'm going the wrong way again. I came out here, yes. Then go over the bridge. Am I going back the way I just came from? No. Got it. Reading chat and running into walls. Man, guys, I want to take a nap so bad. I might drink even more caffeine. This coffee really didn't do it for me. What's up, Goblin? How you doing, buddy? Goblin, I was just talking about you. Let me go back in and show you. See if one of those murals is nearby. I was just saying that the mural in here reminded me of the murals you did for Telekir. There are these guys, and then there was another mural that even looked even more like it. But I'm not gonna run all the way down to the palace again so you can see it. Sorry. Jalix, we are pretty topped off for the time being. But definitely keep an eye out. Yeah, sorry to yawn at you guys and make you yawn too. I can't help it. Exfoliate Daily says, I woke up not even an hour ago to take the wife to work, and now I want to go back to bed already. Yeah, Jasmine got up at 5 this morning to get ready to go out of town. She had to run for some training, some further education on the surgery front. It's interesting that there's like a certain amount of further education she has to do every year to maintain her like accreditations or whatever. So she's in Hamburg for the morning/afternoon. And I was like, I'm just gonna get up when she gets up because there's a bunch of stuff I want to read and do and comment on, and a bunch of Eminem work to do. And then after spending some time talking to Nick about some stuff, I was like, I kind of really want to play Project Quarm, because something we were talking about got me thinking about Kunark. And then I was like, I really want to get more like Kunark time in on PQ. How do I feel about the trees? How do I feel about them for here, or how do I feel about them for our game? I think the trees, we're probably going to get a little bit of a treatment similar to, like, our palm tree is not horribly different from these trees, right? In terms of it using cards and stuff. I think we'll just wind up kind of doing what we did with our palm trees with additional cards and stuff, to make it so that they still have this old style, but then it's just updated a little bit more. But like the tree trunks and stuff, I don't mind the tree trunks being squares at all, right? Like, I mean, we may do an additional face or two, but I guess we'll see whenever we start doing them. If we start blasting, so if we start blasting through textures and getting the desert and Night Harbor pretty locked down, then I think between you and Bilth, I'd like to work ahead a bit to like a temperate environment, right? Start getting our green figured out, and then I'll see about like blocking out, because there's a handful of zones that I'd like to start just blocking out and then connecting them in data, so that we can take a boat up the coast and go up the river and shit like that. Who is Chip? Jalix asked. And how can I ask him for details about specialized game and for medical professionals? I'm intrigued that such a thing exists. Chip is one of our newer additions on the team. He's a programmer. Though... Okay, Saren said, alright, I'm getting the account made and installed. You convinced me. Thank you. You know what? I did not say thank you for the flying butthole follow. Flying butthole. Thank you for the follow, flying butthole. Grind Lord P99. That's a great name. Thank you for the follow. The Quimbley. Why do you... That name sounds familiar. You've been here before, haven't you? The Flying Butthole. 15 minutes ago. Follow. Awesome. Someone chose that name just to see how many streamers they could get to say the Flying Butthole. Of course they did. There's Fecal Finger Paint that's come in here. There's been so many like doo-doo ass names that come in here, and I don't mind at all. I am a gnomish cleric as well, my brother. Are you also Quimbley in game? Awesome. What level are you? That is a strange ass sound outside. It's like a baby crying mixed with the bird sound. Alright, my life's mission right now is to level up enough to be ready for Kunark. In the rare days that I actually play. 20, spent time on Carol. Spent a bunch of time on Carol. Oh, right on. My problem with leveling is, 1, I don't play enough. 2, when I do play, I do shit like this where I run back and forth. For the amount of experience that I got, I probably could have just stayed in one place, sold those damn bone chips, and gotten twice as much experience from Orc Hill. But that's how I play. I'm very inefficient. Used to drive Nick crazy, I'm pretty sure. He never admitted to it, but I'm pretty sure it used to drive him crazy. When we were playing on Aradune and P99. Yeah, I'm wanting to savor the experience for sure, but I I do. Oh my god, sorry. Ugh. I do actually want to get some levels under my belt. I feel like my Aerodune experience was just until I hit like 50, and then everything went by so quickly after that that I just kind of felt bummed. Yeah, boss. Definitely check our Discord. If you're not in our Discord, there's like 4,900 other people that want to hang out with you. Go in there, and you'll be able to get the latest, most accurate info. Robert, how you doing, buddy? Heavy rain and clouds over Helsinki, kind of blah, as they say in Swedish. Blah? I don't think that's how it's pronounced, though. Yeah, boss. There's a lot I don't like about Discord, but it has been fairly convenient on just getting everybody together. Apparently I missed all of Kellethan. The A sound is pronounced as in a rad. So it is rad, blah, 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 blah. Swedish is such a pretty language. It's pretty cool that Jasmine has maintained her Swedish. Like, listening to Swedes get excited when they're talking is amazing. The R's and shit. The way they, like, trill their R's and everything is... It is one of the most over-the-top languages. It's so great. Did I tell you the story, Robert, of there's this Swedish thing that some people on the team do that I didn't realize it was a thing. And so did I tell you about the road names have like 15 characters in them, right? I'll be honest, I don't think I ever paid attention to a single road name the entire time I was in Sweden. I honestly don't know. But a lot of their pronunciations of shit like city names, I'm like, how is that? Really? That's how you pronounce that? That's so weird. Man, I'm lost. Yeah, the quick inhale thing, Robert. So I was in a meeting. I was in meetings with this lady. She was a director of one of the other departments. A little bit older lady, and like my age. And she would constantly, when people were talking, she'd go. Right? So she's listening, and then every once in a while there's a. And so I thought she had like COPD or something. I thought she had like a breathing issue. You know what I mean? Like, I thought she had like a lung problem. And so this was not like one meeting, my friends. This was for weeks. Anytime I was in a meeting with her, she'd be like, and I was like, man, this poor lady, did my dumb ass just run all the way around the zone? So anyway, I get in a meeting with her and this other lady that I wasn't often, let me just figure out what zone line this is, I forget. Like these other people that I was not in, like, so I wasn't in meetings with one of them, and so she was in there. So it's these two ladies and then the old CEO as well. I seriously just went all the way around the zone. And so I was sitting there in the meeting, and all three of them start doing it. Whenever somebody else is talking, the other ones are like, and so I just asked, because now it's no longer rude to ask, right? Like if she's got a breathing disorder, I didn't want to be like, hey, why are you doing that with your mouth? Right? She's like, oh, because I'm dying. I'm like, oh shit, sorry. Sometimes, sometimes I do ask questions like that, kind of like a 7-year-old. Hey, what's wrong with your face? You know, like sometimes I'll do it just because I don't want to wait and try to figure it out on my own. I'll just like, hey, what is wrong with you? So finally I look at the three of them, I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, what do you mean? What are you doing with your mouth? You keep going. They're like, they didn't realize they were doing it. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you keep going. You're doing it. Don't try to gaslight me. You're doing this shit. What are you doing? Why do you do that? Why are you doing that? What is wrong with you, people? You always got to put people at the end of a statement like that. That gets everybody excited for you. What is wrong with you, people? They're like, what? Who are you calling you people? You Swedes. Why do you keep going? You're like a fish. It's like a goldfish sucking in water. What are you doing? And so I forget if they could even explain it, but it's essentially, it's an acknowledgement. So like, it's like the rest of us more civilized people in the world go, ah, oh, right? That's just, it's what they do. So I was like, and so I immediately told him the story. I was like, I was in meeting with woman number one for weeks now, and I felt bad for her. I thought she was dying. So they laughed. They found my silly American sensibilities entertaining. It's a very northern thing. We civilized people in the South don't behave like that. It's true. As an American from the southern states, I can completely relate to the higher level of sophistication that we bring to a conversation. Robert said, some people actually make noises and audible reactions like that without knowing. I've noticed that here in Finland too. You guys are, you Scandinavian elf people are kind of interesting, man. I definitely see where fantasy came from, though. Living in Sweden, there are so many people that either look like elves or look like barbarians. I was like, I get it. I get it now. I could see how this would lead folks to make up fantasy MMORPGs after thousands of years. Northern Sky, what part of Sweden are you from? Robert says, Scandinavia is filled with characters. Man, I react to it every day. Yep. Dude, the Viking Museum in Stockholm is badass. All the museums in Stockholm are badass. Families from the north. I went on a snowboarding trip to a place called Salin. The Swedes always get confused when I say it because I pronounce it completely wrong, apparently. Salin. So I went up there once on a snowboarding trip with Jasmine. It was our first real snowboarding trip together. And all I can say about that is two things. One, it was cold as shit. Man, it was cold. And the snowboarding wasn't that fun because it was so icy and stuff because it was cold. Salin. How do you... Yeah. So that'd be like the same thing that Robert just taught me. With the... Blah. Salin. Robin, are you also Swedish? Is there a Viking invasion going on in chat right now? Do I need to worry? Awesome. I like how the Raiders from Hollis. It's true, battery. I like how the newest Swedish museum that I went to, they were trying to downplay their Vikingness, and I think it's just such a bad marketing move. The whole museum is like, we were actually just farmers and traders. Totally peaceful, guys. Like, what kind of nonsense are you trying to sell? The definitely not Vikings museum. Olden, exactly. Oh, and then the other thing I learned about Salin is I learned that the Swedish 24-hour pooping sickness is a real thing. I thought people were just telling me stories. Goblin says, there was this Frenchie I worked with on a night shift for a couple months. His acknowledgement thing was saying, sure, after any break in your sentence. You always knew he was listening, seemed much more agreeable, I think, than he was because of it. yeah, because he's acknowledging you. It's good. Pointed out to him, he had no idea. I ended up picking it up because I like how agreeable it seemed. Sure. Though I notice I don't do it much anymore. You're getting less agreeable in your old age, Goblin. How many people are in here? I should be able to get a group, right? Robert said I'm gonna sure all over our next internal playtest. I can picture you doing it. Good character. I had a physiotherapist yesterday for my hand who he was speaking German pretty quickly, but I could keep up. I mean, it was a simple context. But everything he said would be like blah 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 nah blah blah nah blah 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 nah nah blah blah nah. Just like, and about 20 minutes into it, he was like, "You do understand what I'm saying, right?" I'm like, yeah, but kind of late for you to be asking now, huh, buddy? What if I didn't? Nah was his way of inhaling? Maybe. Like literally inhaling. It wasn't even just a speech mannerism. That's how he breathes. If he didn't say nah, he would suffocate. Oh shit. I'm starting to get a case of the sillies. I need some caffeine. Oh man. Are you crazy, or weren't you a dwarf 2 seconds ago? Barbecue poetry, you are absolutely crazy. Me play a dwarf? That was me spitting. PP Boom over here. None of these guys. None of these guys are grouping. Okay. Oh shit. I'm in here. I'm in here. Where's Psalmist at? Where's Psalmist? I gotta do my job. I'm gonna come in as a cleric. Oh my god, he's gonna die. I'm not gonna heal him. I blame the camera, Psalmist. I apologize. Is this playable to anyone? It is. This is Project Quarm. Tuckrat left the group. Traitor. Traitor ass. Oh, sorry. I'm getting aggressive. I need some more caffeine. Yeah, this is EQ, not M&M. Battery peeler. Why are you staring at me? Weird ass. Oh man, I need some more caffeine. We're about to get silly. M. Gabriel, look up, if you haven't played on Project Quarm, look up Level Up Larry Project Quarm. And it will be like a 2 or 3 minute video to show you how to get everything installed. So what are you guys going to be up to today? Not any of you Swedes, because whatever you're going to be up to, you should probably already be doing it. It's 2:22. What are you doing? Sitting around watching people play video games. What? I forget what the channel group. You got a gig with the local band downtown tonight? Oh, that's pretty badass. Do they know that they're playing with a rock star? Or is it like a local band composed of rock stars? Barbecue said, got level 30, but now I don't have the motivation to get guys a Mana Stone this weekend. Need to hurry up though, probably. How long are they in for? I would not mind having a guys. Three months? Alright, so we got a little bit of time, right? I'm definitely not getting a Mana Stone, but hey. I'm probably not going to get them this time around. Let's face facts. I have not played enough. Because I don't... Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot Secrets did something weird with the drop rate. Secrets. I just want to get prepared for Kunark. That's all I care about. They constantly rot on the ground. No shit. Angel? I may have to have one of you help me acquire one. Can I seduce you with my streamerness? I have to get level 30 to loot? That's what I mean. That's exactly what I meant. Come over here and power level me. What are you guys doing? You're just sitting there watching? If you're power leveling me, you would be on stream. I would make you famous. Fuck, I'm in a silly mood today. Robert, what kind of music is it gonna be? Oh shit. Flingin' has got all the bats. Well, he's dead. Oh well. It wasn't in the cards for you. But at least he doesn't have far to run. Oh my god. I might have had the wrong person targeted just then. Don't mind me.
Oh look, my streak is still going.
What's up, Ollie? Well, he's dead. Oh well. Spoken like a true gnomish cleric. Yeah, mana regen is horrific. Sirith says it keeps saying invalid username password when trying to make an account. I didn't run into that when you're trying to make a tech P account or whatever. Ollie, thank you for resubbing despite the fact that subs no longer exist on this channel count thing. 39 months is pretty wild, buddy. Alright, I'm gonna AFK real quick so that I can grab a drink that's not gonna be healthy for me, but gonna be awesome. Barbecue, I renounced my affiliate so that they would stop giving me money. So that the German tax authority doesn't bust my balls. Yeah, the degree to which it was going to be a pain in the ass to like declare on taxes and handle all of that stuff, blah blah blah, compared to the actual benefits, just seemed kind of minimal. So I was like, that said, Ollie, you know what? I wonder if I could have just had the money from. Oh no, because how would I declare that to Twitch? Like if Twitch gave the money to the company instead of to me. And it's not like we'd have to worry about taxes, right? Because we're definitely not turning a profit. Oh my gosh, that's so addictive. In a group like this, it's so fun to be a cleric because I really don't have to do a ton. I just have to let Flingen die every once in a while, but I'm okay with that. Mio Mio Orange Plus. It's not one of the Coke Orange things they have over here. It is just orange. But I'd be curious if Mio Mio had a Coke Orange mix with extra caffeine like this. I would definitely try it out. I'll have to check next time I'm at the store. And it's great because Germans are so used to drinking beverages in bulk. I think it's part of their beer culture and the fact that they drink shitloads of bottled water. Despite having some of the best tap water on earth, they like the bubbles. Like tap water here is phenomenal. That's why I'm always drinking tons of water. What is the Coke Orange like? Honestly, it's just kind of like Coke and Orange. There's something about that mix that makes it better than just Coke and just Orange, oddly. It's kind of like that with their mixed beer drinks. So they mix beer with all sorts of stuff as well, and it sounds like it wouldn't be tasty, but it really is. Like, I keep confusing M&M hotkeys with the hotkeys here, and I'm not doing anything, to be honest. So like, beer and lemon juice, beer and Coke, beer and orange juice, beer and just about anything, to be honest. All sorts of juices. So it winds up only being like 2.5% alcohol. Pretty refreshing. But yeah, this is just normal kind of like orange soda with extra caffeine. Not even orange soda. It's It's like sparkling orange juice with extra caffeine. Anyways, it's great because there's such a beverage culture here that they've got wonderful delivery, so you can get cases of drinks like this delivered, and they cart off the empties. Rusty Jeep, thank you for the follow. That is a wonderful imagery. I picture like a, what are they called? Old Willys Jeep, the World War II style Jeep. Maybe you're thinking like a old Jeep Cherokee or something. Not quite sure what you're thinking. Robert said same here in Finland. Tap water is super. Yeah, I mean, yep, it was that way in Stockholm as well. We were in Florida visiting my parents, and Jasmine checked out the she smelled the tap water and was like, "Nah, I think I'm fairly good." But that was at the resort. That was when we were at the Cabana Bay or whatever it's called. At my mom's house, it wasn't that bad. It's a bit chlorinated or something. Just a typical Wrangler, right on. Is it Insmet? I want to make sure I get your name right. Is that you? Where are you at? You're right here. Howdy. Florida swamp water? Man, my dad was stationed in South Korea for a year. So my mom wanted to live near family. Like whenever my dad was stationed somewhere weird, we would go back to Florida because our families lived there. And oh, thank you. Oh, I'm gonna level. Well, I got a bubble. In all fairness. Yeah. So, anyways, we were living in this trailer in the Ocklawaha National Forest for a year while my dad was in South Korea. And talk about some swamp water. Thank God I had my Commodore 128 and a Nintendo. And a bow. And my my friend Ed from across the little, what is it, like farm to market road. He had a 22, so we could go out and shoot things and explore the swamp. It was pretty decent fun. We were close enough to the river that we didn't have to walk very far to like check out alligators. What does it mean when a character's name's flashing? It means I've got them targeted. My mana regen is crap enough that I might as well not bother sitting. Most of the time, if I can give some DPS, it's probably a better... Probably better off. Man, I love this style of gameplay so much. And that was the thing before we started M&M. We were just playing some P90. Well, no, we were playing Aerodune and then we were playing P99, and it's just like, just we had so many evenings of just sitting at either Orkill or somewhere in Crushbone or Unrest or any just the standard progression, right? Just grinding away and having a great time. Like, we should make a game that feels like this. Oops. I wish I had a Yelp. I wish I had a Yelp that did a little bit, like a little bit of an increase to my mana regen while I'm meleeing. People dislike the downtime, but it allows time to chill and get to know other players. Adding that to the unique rules, forced grouping, and it made EQ feel like a real community. Yep, and it also just, even if you're not social, right? Like, these guys aren't really talking, but they might be talking to somebody. It gives you enough time to be able to like have your brain go somewhere else. Even if it's just watching a podcast or some shit, right? To me, it's like that meditative rhythm of progression, right? Like I'm progressing within a community. So my experience points, my coin, my items, whatever I'm accumulating during this period has value. So if I can gain value over this period of time and also do some other shit like talk to you or watch some TV, you know, watch Downton Abbey for the fourth time all the way through, you know, whatever it is, important shit, then that's pretty cool. Downtime lets you drink coffee and smoke and eat chips, exactly, and not even get your keyboard all messed up. Smoking a blunt while having some random anime going on the other screen. Hebrew Hammer? Exactly. You do you. Whatever makes it work for you. Oh, Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna have to mute that. Alright, I wonder how long it's been some other music that's not ours playing in the background. Not that it matters. All YouTube's gonna do is what? Tell me that we don't get to keep the money? We don't get any money. Alright, hopefully this guy doesn't pull anything. I need to go back and get back on our... Nope. Nope. Eminem soundtrack. Thank you. Play all. Loop. There we go. Shit. I always get bummed when I forget to hit loop. Somebody said something important a second ago and I wanted to follow up. I need to sit my ass down. Oh. Thank you. That's very nice of him. How's Eminem coming? Somebody just asked that, I think. Oh. Talking Seagull said, how is that how Eminem is going to work? Oh yeah. Yep, yeah, that is what we're focused on. Positronic, thank you for the follow. It's fun to have fantasy movies from the 80s, 90s come back to back while playing EQ. Beastmaster, Conan, Highlander. Where do you watch those? What are you watching those on? Oh, is Cleric Yawp gonna have regen on it in Eminem? I don't know, but it's one of those, Nick's doing the abilities, but it's one of those things that's been mentioning for a long time of like, hey, is there a way that I could get in there and essentially, because I like playing clerics, but I also want to be able to whack stuff with a mace or hammer or whatever and feel a little active and not always just have to sit here. So it's definitely on my mind. I mean, I don't mind the sitting. Like, it doesn't. I'm not like, oh, I don't like this class because of it. You know, like I said, I get to hang out with you guys or do some other shit. But I think it would be fun to be able to get in there and whack stuff and have that not be like a, you know, the group's like, hey, why aren't you sitting down and getting more mana, please? Positronic said, recently found your series with EQ devs and been watching through. Really great discussions. Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, there are a few more people that I'd like to be able to get on an interview at some point. It's funny, I got most of those interviews done during 2020, just because everybody was working from home and it just made it that much easier to set up times that worked for everybody. Some of the streaming movie things free with ads, or if you pay, oh, okay, like a Hulu type of thing. Yeah, Suanin. Agreed. Ah, shit. Wrong person. I don't even know what you just gave me, Jacob, but... Oh man, that's badass. Rusty Jeep, I don't know of a line. If you've been watching the stream, you know how... You know how much I'm not really paying attention to what's going on screen. Pippi Boom's also in here. And they seem to be paying attention. And Psalmist seems to be paying attention as well. I am not paying attention. gonna get some more mana and then I'll buff. Valoroth, it's going good today. I haven't been playing very much. The reason why I'm playing today and streaming is just because I realized if I didn't just take a couple hours today to play, that I would never catch up in time for Kunart. This is the new Telekir track, Talking Seagull. Talderon says, first time seeing another biome in the game, looks good. You know what, someone joked like that with me earlier and I didn't get it. I get it this time. Because I'm playing EQ, but you're expecting M&M. I get it. What do I think about EQ Live? Do you think the screen and things got too complicated? Absolutely. Yep, too complicated. I'm really not a fan of the cosmetics. This client doesn't have it, but like on P99, the old models with shadows turned on, where it was such an inspiration for Eminem, like that idea of blocky but some nice painted gritty textures but with shadows and stuff. We were pretty jazzed when we saw that. Advanced loot is nice once you figure it out, but feel bad for any new players to figure it out. Man, it's super convenient, but it did take me forever to figure out. Oh, Talderon, you actually weren't joking. Yeah, this is shit, sorry. Yeah, this isn't Eminem. This is old classic EverQuest. See, that's what happens when you guys come in here and you're being silly, and then I think everybody's being silly. And then Taldarian came in and was being honest. Okay. Hey, Talad. Hey, Ethan. I am on Project Quarm at the moment, Ethan. So the thing that I don't like about the convenience of the advanced loot in EQ Live is it's too convenient. There was just a Asmongold was just talking about like Classic Plus and the things people have asked for with Classic Plus for WoW. And it's funny because he actually hit on this point. Though, I think he ultimately settled on the idea of convenience is better. But it just, to me, it feels like a lot of what we do in Eminem is meant to kind of pull back on some of the stuff that like EQ Live eventually got to or whatever. It's like, if you want to loot, it should take time to loot. And you should take the time to get down on the corpse and put yourself in a vulnerable position and pick through the items. Like auto loot even on a corpse to me isn't good. You should click on every item that you want to take. Every one of those half a seconds count. One copper at a time. Yeah, there we go. You have to pick up one coin at a time. When I was a kid, my landlord in Germany said that the way that his mother would punish him would be she would pour a big jar of dried peas on the floor, and he would have to pick them up one at a time, standing up and putting them in the jar each time. Now that I'm older, I realize that that dude probably had to have like quads of iron when your mom, as punishment, makes you do like 200 air squats. Braxis Muse said WoW Classic is releasing a seasonal server November 30th. That, as Holly put it, ever wonder what it's like to be a warlock tank or a mage healer? So I'm looking forward to it. Also new items and zones. Yeah, I watched a little bit of that with the team last night. Seems interesting. I'm excited for them. I'm excited anytime that the MMO sort of community is doing something interesting. Looks like we're missing somebody from our group. Oh, it was the guy that was tanking. Yeah. And pulling. Well, that's a bummer. I don't know if he's coming back because I haven't been paying attention, but I'll keep a better eye on flinging now. Oh, they don't need my help. They got pets and stuff on it. It kind of has a EQ classless feel from how I understood it. It'll be interesting. Braxis, did you play classless? I played... What was the most... Maybe not the most recent one, but I played one like last year. I had a lot of fun for a little bit. Razman 1999. Thank you for the follow and thanks for the kind words. Said first time catching me live. I love what we do with our game dev and Quarm has been a blast. Right on. Mantis said, I like the EQOA that it took an hour to run somewhere sometimes, so it really felt like a planned adventure. And then when you got there and along the way, you had to avoid dying. Exactly. It's very important stuff. I think I probably played a not so recent one as well, but not for very long, but it was still kind of fun. Rusty Jeep said, yeah, Quarm is incredibly good. Very nice with secrets and team to release. Absolutely. Robert's heading to the sauna. It's heated up and ready to go. If you're streaming for another hour, I'll be back. Yeah, I'll be here, buddy. I'm going to stream for a few hours today. I want to get some good playing in. Yeah, Keith, I decided I would stream this morning so that I would not feel as guilty for actually sitting down and playing. There's so much shit that I want to do on M&M right now, but I really felt like if I didn't force myself to get some EQ time, it probably wasn't going to happen. It is research. I'm researching the vibe, yo. Sarenth, one of the reasons why I'm excited, and we'll have to continue to work through the world design to make sure that we facilitate this enough, but one of the reasons why I'm excited about boats going up rivers in our game is exactly what you just described there. Like more places to sit on a boat and kind of travel through the world and see the world go by and see sketchy shit. You're like, oh man, I'm afraid of that. Hope I don't fall off this boat. Boats in the underground, boats through the deep, the rivers of the deep. Yes, mysterious islands. Yes, mysterious islands in seas under the earth. What? Above ground jungles, underground jungles, underground boat rides, wide ass rivers that you can't cross by swimming. You got to take a ferry across them so you don't drown. Oh. Ferry through the underworld is absolutely 100% on our list. As a matter of fact, we've got one sample underground zone. One of the deep zones, deep dunes, is one that I cobbled together early on. And it's got more like a stream going through it at the moment. But I want to make that a lot wider and put a little boat on it. One of the things that I want to do, if I wasn't playing, I'd be doing it. Assuming that we currently have a bug that's making it so that our NPC commands for new NPCs aren't executing properly. So Ollie's been looking at that, I believe. So I'm sure that's going to impact any new boats that we add. One of the things I wanted to do this weekend is add some boats, also just in the background, so you kind of see them going around and stuff. Oh, you know what? I need to put a request in from the environment guys to make a raft. How cool would a raft be? You need a giant cyclops randomly killing people on boats. What about a giant underground cyclops randomly killing people on underground boats? A giant cyclops with just like a big white glowy eye because he's used to living underground. Doesn't even have like an iris or a pupil. Just freaky big white eye. Giant squid. Definitely. I think Ivan's a fan of giant squids. Oops. Wrong button. See, Sarenth, that just sounds fun. Oh, you could run below deck and get safe? That's super cool. Yeah, Ollie's looking into how to get NPCs running around on our boats eventually. So hey, for those of you that are not aware, where's this dude's pet? Oh shit. Okay, we got a problem, guys. Yep. So I didn't let anybody know there was a train, but I'm sure they'll figure it out. Is it safe over there yet? I guess maybe not. I got ogres piling up here. Let's see. Dum da dum 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 dum. Ahem. The roaming unicorn always scares you? Hmm. It's not mean though, is it? There's Pippi. Let's see. Oh, I know what I was meaning to do earlier. Those of you that are not aware of it, we have, and by we I mean Monsters and Memories. We are currently being featured until Monday on the MMORPG subreddit. We've got a developer spotlight there, and here's a link to it. The response has been really kind so far. Folks have been really nice. Very positive thread. There's some gifts there that you probably haven't seen before, a little bit of information on the game, and links back to new sections of our revamped website. So if you want to open that up in another tab, check it out. If you like it, give us an upvote. We're pretty close to being the most upvoted developer spotlight, at least in their list for the last 2 years. So every upvote counts. Yeah, it's pinned to the top, I believe, so it definitely gives it some good visibility. I think at the moment we've had like 120,000 people click on it. Like 120,000 people check it out. So that's pretty cool. 96% upvote of that 120,000 people. So that's super positive. And I think a lot of that's just because of, you know, how positive the community has been, and we had some good community vibes on there. Dude, these heals are not great. Mantis said, dude, when you did them interviews and then started the Eminem thing, you started a small movement. Many of us have been dying to taste some good classic RPG stuff, but never, but newer but the same. Right on. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's been our thought. It felt like just a good timing and good choice of direction and stuff. Like we've enjoyed making the game in conjunction with the community, and you know, like how much fun were those early streams where it was just like us sitting in there, me making just basic map with Blender and we had the little capsule dudes and all that shit. Nolly and Nick were working on some gameplay stuff, and I mean, and then on the RPG front, like, we really want to push and lean into that more. You know, when I say I feel guilty sitting here playing instead of working on stuff, like, some of it is just that stuff, you know, like getting more of the mud interactions in, and just more little quests in, and putting sketchy people in throughout Night Harbor that are going to kill you when you go in the wrong alley. You know, just M&M things. Need to relax and have fun, otherwise you'll burn out, Tillette said. I relax plenty. I relax. I actually keep a pretty solid balance with M&M, and then with time spent with my wife. Like, honestly, I try to spend a lot of time with her. Just so that when there are times where maybe there's going to be more work or whatever, then it's all good. But the thing I'm not doing then is I'm not playing some EQ and shit. Keep in mind, I've been divorced 3 times, so I feel like I'm slowly learning some lessons there. Hey, Justin Beard. It's okay, buddy. I'll be here for a little while longer. Battery Peeler said this might be a no comment, but any thoughts on Pantheon introducing no new mode and backlash to it? I think I understand. I understand the backlash, right? Like, I've observed the community. I understand why folks react the way they do. I think it's unfortunate. I also, you know, I've talked to Joppa a bit about what they were thinking there, and I understand his thoughts on that as well. And you know, my primary thing, and this isn't a critique of the decision at all, I just think it's very challenging for those guys, just given their history and stuff. It's very challenging to try to make a move like what they're doing and have it be received in a neutral manner. You know, it's just, yeah, it's tough. So at the end of the day, I know firsthand from many years of working on games how hard it is to make games. And I understand, like, different conditions within the company, different conditions or different ideas, like, hey, we think we've got a plan for this, or I understand how it happens, and why it happens and all that stuff. So, and you gotta let, you know, as a fellow developer, I just kind of gotta let other teams do their thing and see how things pan out and wish them the best. Because just like we were saying earlier about, you know, about Project Gorgon and other MMOs out there and, like, bigger stuff, like the stuff that WoW's doing right now. I want all of the I want all of the various MMOs that are out there to do well, because it's just good for, like, the MMO scene. It's good for all of us, I think. But I definitely understand why the communities reacted the way they do, or did, or are, or whatever. And then, you know, it's kind of a bummer. It's a bummer because we get so many really rad comments and a lot of support, like, on our videos and stuff. And then I try to respond to them, and I know the team responds to them. I try to give them a little, you know, that little like heart and shit that you get in YouTube. But then whenever they're like, when you say something, and it's kind of like commenting on Pantheon or another company, and then followed by a, but you guys are awesome. Like, I really want to hit like so much on the you guys are awesome part, but I don't want to, you know, I know how hard and stressful it is, and sometimes like just tough it is to work on a game, and you know, I would hate for people from other teams to see like, oh yeah, thumbs up on that, and I'm like, no, I'm not thumbs up, and you guys having a hard time. I just, so that's where I'm at. I'm a big softie on that front. I mean, it'd be different if there was like animosity between the teams or whatever, anything like that. Then, like, I don't. Then again, there's no animosity between like between us and Star Citizen. But I look at, if anybody asks me my opinion on Star Citizen, I'm just like, I don't fucking understand. There's so how they've had so much money, and then whatever it was, a year and a half, 2 years ago when I played on the free weekend, I was just like, what in the world? Star Citizen. So on that one, I don't give a shit. Yes, well, Talit, it is one of those weird games where Star Citizen might wind up being one of those things where when it's finally finished or whatever, it may wind up being one of the craziest games anybody's ever seen. But I just kind of, I look at it and then I'm like, the stuff, it wasn't as much their ambition that bummed me out. It was the quality of the content when I played. Like, I'm not worried about, you know, if there's some issue with one of the just big crazy ideas of like whatever it is that they're doing that's a big crazy idea that I guess in theory hasn't been done by Elite Dangerous and whatchamacallit, what's the other awesome space game? No Man's Sky. But when I was running around the city and the NPCs that were in the city were just like randomly spawned all the same dude, all facing the same direction, so you know that that was basically their default spawn position. All right. That kind of stuff bums me out, right? Because that's not a tech challenge. That's a we just, whoever was putting those NPCs in there didn't do anything. Yeah, like they've raised an insane amount of money, right? Like 300 million or something. $500? Yeah, I thought I heard 500 or 600, but I can never say 500 or 600 million for a game and not have it seem like a bullshit number that I just made up. I mean, that's a number that's so big. If the team working on M&M had 0.5% of that. If we had 0.5% of that, then folks could work full time and we'd be good to go. But hey, if they I did not see the demo barbecue, and like I said, it could turn out that they wind up making one of the craziest things that's ever been made. And if they do, awesome. I just think they probably could have made... I'll do it. Here. Right after I see whether or not Flingen's gonna die. Right after I heal this Orc Centurion, apparently. Shit. I really need to remap my keys. Let me click the link. Malins, thank you for the follow. I'll save that for later. Okay, we have a different person tanking now. I'll try to get some mana. Riker said, I have zero ambition to play a game at release if tons of people already own $10,000 ships. Can they lose those ships like an Eve? Imagine the CS nightmare of having to reimburse a $10,000 in-game item, right? I worked at this company in Germany for a little bit, and it was a much older game, and one of the players it was a free-to-play game, barely pay to win, and one of the guys that had been playing it forever owned a company, like a factory or something. And so once a quarter, he would call up the producer and basically wire over like 70 grand or something, 80 grand. And work with the producer to put like new content in. Like, hey, what about putting these ships in and this and this? And producer would do it because I mean it was enough to move the needle on their budget, like on their profit and loss for the quarter. And the guy was just such a big fan of this old ass game, and he would sit there and play it after work with people that worked for him. Old pirate game. Basically, I wouldn't say producer, but definitely a financier, right? Like movie producer style producer, maybe. Make sure they get the cash. Nils said there was a CS guy who reimbursed a loss in EVE, I think, earlier this year, who somehow, instead of giving back the couple of thousand units of ammo, gave the player a few thousand Officer smart bombs worth trillions of in-game currency. If the player had been smart about selling them off slowly when he needed the money instead of trying to sell them in bulk, they might not have noticed. That is definitely where you want to have good logging of your customer service commands and regular auditing of those commands. If you don't have automatic flagging of shit like that. Like high value items should trigger a flag within your tools. Justin said I still play the main lotto every now and then. Justin, if you become a main billionaire, you know where to find us, buddy. Don't get any fancy ideas about telling us what to do. Should let people donate hefty sums to have an NPC in their name. Somebody just suggested that to us, I think, in Discord or an email or something, as a business model. Can't do it, man. Cannot do it. We have a strong sense of ethics here at Niche Worlds Cult. Pippi, was it you that was mocking our ranger? Our ranger's doing pretty good. Watched BlizzCon yesterday. I like the idea of the Candle King as the Kobold boss mob. It makes sense and it's funny. I did not see that part. That is pretty cool. Daddy Senpai said letting people have an NPC with a real name attached is just another Jesse McCree situation waiting to happen. Oh, you mean if the internet gets mad at somebody, then we've got to change the name in the database? It's pretty easy though to change NPC names in our game. It takes all of about 3 seconds. Justin Beard, excuse me, M&M team, can you add a Bigfoot NPC for reasons? If you have $1 billion and you wanted us to add a Bigfoot NPC, I think that is not too far of a stretch. We'll do that for you, buddy. You just can't tell anybody. And if anybody else on the stream sees a Sasquatch go into our game all of a sudden, don't say anything. It's our secret. Wink, wink. Now, we might put some people's names in the game just because you're cool and you've been hanging out with us and shit. Tyrion, did I thank you and Malance for the follows 7 minutes ago, or was I too busy being silly? I'll take that as I probably didn't do it on time, but I appreciate your forgiveness. Are the pocketbooks in Quarm? I don't think so. It'd be weird. It'd be weird for them to be there already. Mantis said, dude, I play war games where rich people would blow 100K real money on massive armors. Oh, for sure. For sure. I've known people that worked at other companies where they've had high rollers that spent millions. I interviewed at a company in Dublin, and I realized it was not the company for me when I went out for coffee with the CEO, and he was like, so how would you go about designing a $1 million spin depth? And the spin depth is just how much can a player spend within your game. Right, and so like within free-to-play, when you're making an expansion or you're adding something onto the game, a lot of times what you'd want to do is an analysis of like how much is there to purchase, right? Like, so in theory, you know, if you put out an expansion and there's only a spend depth of $1,000, like the most a player could spend on $1,000, spend is $1,000. Then you could, in theory, calculate based on past metrics or performance. You could calculate based on the number of high pay users you've had that have purchased the similar inventory in the past, how much you're gonna roughly make off of that stuff that you're adding. It's so clinical and like just kind of gross. It's not even called content half the time. It's just like inventory. Fabrizio, do not start with the POC books. I will sit here and argue with you all day. I will argue with you and argue with you, and then you'll be mad at me for arguing with you. Fabrizio, have you never heard me rant on this one? My counter rant to your rant? I'm sure you have. Frickin' Sean arguing back. Where is he? Oh, he's way over there. Let's see. All right, you guys are gonna trigger me. So I will see if there's anything else, and then I'll hit that. Where is he? He's still not back. Riker said the real issue is Pop cheaping out with the hub zone instead of connecting the planes to the old world. I agree that we probably could have done more with the old world at the time. But the issue that we were running into when we decided to make Plane of Knowledge and the add the books was we collected data for months in the old world. And guess what? Nobody was there. And so we still had, we didn't have you start in a new zone, right? We didn't have like a glooming deep or anything like that. We just had, we had all of the starting zones, right? So cities and zones, which had been abandoned. Yeah, I was the lead designer on Planes of Power. Daddy Senpai. So we collected data on utilization of old world zones for quite a while, and one of the problems we were running into was the number of people that were coming into the game and seeing absolutely nobody was significant, right? So because people were going into one of the recommended servers, and they were then picking one of however many potential starting races, right? And then you were looking at it and it was like, all right, you would have people were coming into the game because people were still learning about MMOs at the time, right? They were reading the various articles about MMOs. And they were like, oh, it's this experience where there's hundreds of people around and it's like a living world and all this shit, right? And so people would come in expecting that experience. Or they would come in and somebody would be a dark elf and they'd have a friend that starts as a dwarf. And not only, you know, is there the usual travel time to get to each other, but there was also there's also the fact that there are no people in the zones. Yeah, Bizarre had already cleaned out EC and GFA. So Luckland, you know, you had people leave the continent to go to Kunark. Then you had higher level people leave the continent to be in Velius. And when they weren't at those places, they were in Luckland. And this was all, you know, this was basically, this emptied the old world. And that happened before most of us were either on the team or in any position to make decisions about the game. So the game world was empty. We would have loved to just focus on the live game. There are a lot of arguments made to basically, we just wanted to work on the existing game. I worked on, so for example, I worked on the Chardock revamp and the Kazakh revamp, and shit, I should probably not let my dude die. And he's off. He's gone. Okay. So anyway, we had empty zones, and so the idea was, if we made it easier for people that started in different cities to I did not work on the Freeport revamp. I was gone by then. Basically, the whole idea was that we wanted people to be able to start, meet up with their friends, and see other people. Yeah, Lilium. The books were put in out of necessity. The idea of making a hub zone so that everybody would run into each other if they were running from one book to another, or you know, they would see high level people because it was in the plains, all of that stuff. Seemed to me the issue is trying to maximize expansion sales. Absolutely. Yep. That was a big part of what was going on at the time. And we would have loved to work on old zones, but that was not the mission we were given. You're welcome, Fabrizio. Do you think 1 year is a good amount of time for expansions, or should things be added a little at a time? So I'm a big fan of the little at a time, just live game, live operations. People don't have to buy expansions, just kind of continue to build out the world. The one downside to little is expansions, at least at the companies I've been at, are used as a PR and marketing opportunity, right? Because it's like you can get articles written about an expansion. It's a big enough change to the world. It's a big enough addition of content that that people will give a shit. You know, like back in the day, magazines or, you know, games journalists or whatever. These days, probably content creators fall into that as well. But yeah, so if you're trying to get new players in, or try to get people to come back and look at the game after they've like maybe stopped playing for a few months or a year or two, expansions with interesting features and a flashy cover is the way to do it. But I'm hoping that we're able to pull off just, you know, doing like a mix where we have kind of constant small additions to the world, and then maybe we've got a bigger one that hits every once in a while. Something that feels a little bit more like the pacing of like PoE's what do they call them? Seasons? Not seasons. What was PoE's sort of bigger updates again? I forget. Leagues? Leagues. Yes, leagues. So they had a good, they've got a really good video on the logic that went into their timing. like the 11-week pacing or whatever it was versus the blah blah blah. Like I need to rewatch that, but they had some good logic on how they were pacing that. But again, I like the idea of making the world feel deeper and richer and living, as opposed to just selling you a box that then invalidates shit that you've done before, etc. Right? And if you don't have box sales and if you don't have a strong push to like make a big expansion in order to reactivate people or to have a PR push or whatever, then I think it's feasible to just always kind of improve the game. Rusty Jeep, I'm glad that you're enjoying yourself now that you're back. Nils asked, how will you approach this with Eminem? Oh, thank you. As the game grows, envision adding quests and more content. Yeah. And so one of the reasons why we're making a number of decisions just in how we do our cities and all of that. Our cities aren't meant to be starting cities. Our cities are going to be there for the duration of the game. So we want it to feel like you're always finding something new in these cities, right? Like you've always got reasons to come back to the cities. You go out on adventures and come back. So even if a level 1 player is starting out in a city in our game, they'll run across high level people, and there's reasons for those people to always be coming back and live in those cities. They'll have apartments and guild halls in those cities, etc. So Mantis said every 2 years maybe add a new continent or something, or in those 2 years small quests. What if instead of continents we just add a nice cluster of zones, right? Like it doesn't have to be a continent that takes you far away. It could be some islands that you go out on an expedition to and then come back. Treat the core continent as the hub. Yeah, we'll have plains and we'll have new zones in the deep, right? Like our Underdark, and we'll have islands, and there'll be new zones that you find out in the frozen wastes and all sorts of shit, so we'll have that. As we're first sort of growing the game, we may find that we go live without all the starting cities, and so some of our expansion will just be the starting cities. Portals to the moons? Maybe. How are we doing? Just kind of cruising along at level 7. Cross, thank you for the follow. Animate cat grows on the moon. That sounds like a good expansion. I did work on DCUO. Oh, I need to respond to my wife really quick. Oh, thanks. Yeah, that was a very hard project to get done. That was a tough one. But I was there. I was one of the first 5 people on the team. And was there for the bulk of production. At one point I quit for like 6 or 8 months and then came back in the middle of it. But yeah. Tough project. Oh, hey, thank you for the buff. Yeah, Mantis, we'll definitely announce bigger changes, but probably not all of changes. One of the cool things about expansions, and we don't have to do it as an expansion, but one of the cool things about it is just that kind of D&D module feel. Hey, Sparrow. Fears Gaming, thank you for the follow. Speaking of Sparrow, those of you that are watching some wonderful Project Quarm but are not aware of Monsters and Memories, you should check out our website. We just revamped it. Or another way to do that is we are being featured right now in the developer spotlight on Reddit. So the MMORPG subreddit has us as featured developers. We're pinned to the top there. We've had a really cool response. People have been super positive. A little nervous going in there because I know folks in that subreddit can be a little honest with their feelings, and they've been super cool to us so far. It's been really, really awesome. We've had, let me check. See where we're at. I'm refreshing now. We were coming up on being the most upvoted developer spotlight in the 2 years that we saw there. We may have actually made it. We've got 120,000 views and a 96% upvote rate, which I think is probably good. But it's a cool update. There's a lot of fun visuals and information, and the update links back to all of the new sections on our website. So if you check it out there through that link that I just posted, it'll give you a nice overview of Monsters and Memories if you're not familiar with the game. And often, if you get on our Discord, you'll see when various team members are streaming, and we're usually working on the game. Streaming today, I just happened to really want to try to sneak in some PQ time. Thanks, Sparrow, and thank you for doing the website review. It was very nice of you. Sparrow has done some wonderful videos for us. Oh shit, everybody's leaving the group. Did I let people die? Is that what happened? Are we coming up on... I've been here for 2 hours and 45 minutes. Yeah. I got like a level so far today, so I can't complain too much. I could always tab over and just I could stop playing and show you some M&M, poke at some work a little bit. Oh, you dinged double 8 and need to pick up new spells? No worries, that makes sense. Nightmare said you got a lot of friends of mine hooked on the public playtest. Love to join the next one for sure. Yeah, so we have another public playtest coming up in December, and before that we have a stress test where we just want to validate some of the updates to our server and our registration flow and all that stuff beforehand. So on the 11th of this month we have a stress test, and then we'll be announcing the date or dates for the next playtest. I can check out I'll check out that Star Citizen video. I'll check out that Star Citizen video after I get off here. Druid. Got some belts to turn in. Oh man. Look at that guy go. All geared up in his bronze. Therion said, I found M&M a while back and kind of forgot about it until recently. I just joined the Discord and can't wait to check out the game. Badass. No worries. Yeah, with us being in development, we've got a lot of folks that over the years have come in, checked out for a bit, and then bounced for a little bit, and then come back. Totally normal. Figure's gonna be in Disneyland during this load test, 11/11. It's just a load test. It's just you'll be able to get us in December. Do you think my buddy's wife would be mad if he says, sorry honey, I know it's our anniversary, but Eminem is having a load test? Pessimistic Squid, probably not. Not if she's an understanding wife. Thanks, Rusty Jeep. I think there's still something that needs to be done before you can get the latest launcher and stuff installed. I should have read Slack better, but I thought there was something we had discussed there, and I think some of our guys have mentioned what's going on with it in Discord. So keep an eye on Discord for more information. Oh, the books around Quarm take you to the Shard of Decay, their Halloween event. Okay, cool. I remember the fog turned red and all that stuff the last time I played. And I thought it had something to do with the Halloween event. Druids everywhere. I don't think I've played a druid past the teens. Yeah, I thought one of the reasons why a lot of people play druids was just to solo. And it'd be useful. Ports and stuff. If I thought I'd have more playtime, I just knew I wasn't going to have it. But if I thought I was going to have more playtime, I probably should have just started with a Necro. My plan on P99 was to basically level up a Necro and have the Necro farm shit for my cleric, but... Oh, right on. I was just trying to figure. I saw you there, and I was like, "What classes?" All right, Senpai's there. Totally forgot you were in here. Gnomely fan said, "What do you think the best solo class will be in M&M?" Unsure. If I just had to randomly pull something out of my ass right now, I wouldn't be shocked if it's like Necro. Hey, Pippy Boom. Yeah, I guess you're not coming back, are you? It was fun hanging out with you as well. Hey, I see you, Jack. Dayhawk has been timed out for reasons stated above. Is that you just fucking with me, or did you actually get timed out? Aha! You silly. I think it was because you posted a dad joke. Well, if dad jokes got you timed out here, there'd be a lot of folks that would just be MIA. Bubonic. Project Quarm is a new emulated server. TLP style up through planes with a 9-month expansion cycle using the TACP client. What's up, old ninja? I am playing on Project Quarm. Boo? Why boo? Are you a ghost? Halloween's over. You need to get some Thanksgiving going. Hell, you might as well just move straight into Christmas. Gobble, yeah. Toldar, you might as well check it out. Man, I'm getting punched. Oh shit. Claire just got wrecked. Poor Claire. I didn't even see how she died so quick. Let's see. Oh, wow. Now we got some friends. Justin, what did you do for Thanksgiving last year? Those of you that like the music in the background, that's from our soundtrack for Monsters and Memories. You can check out the playlist right here. We've got it posted on our YouTube. Justin put a Red Baron pizza in the oven and called it a day. Fair enough. Thanks, Lagwagon. And with a name like that, I know that you are a connoisseur of music. People were selling $100 outings to local taverns here. Thanksgiving meal thing last November. $100 for tavern food for Thanksgiving? Ending Aura says, love EQ, but hate 18 plus hour camps. Will Eminem respect players' time in that regard? I will say that we will let you respect your own time. If you do not want to sit at a camp, do not sit at a camp. There may be other ways for you to attain items. I personally love long camps, so is that indicative of me loving my time being disrespected? I think it's just not every camp will be super long, but there will be a lot of camps, and some of the camping is, well, a lot of the camping is based off of RNG, right? So if it's a low percentage drop, then you could spend anywhere from 1 kill to, I think when I was waiting for Gynox, when I was on Eridune, like 20 hours for that son of a bitch to spawn with the actual ring that I needed. Saw him like twice. Well, a third time with the ring in like 4 or 5 days. I don't find that's disrespectful of players' time. I think there are people that want to play a different style of game. But if your expectations are improperly matched to the game, then it's not us disrespecting your time, it's just you're in the wrong game. Mesker said, hopefully long camp is not always synonymous with monopolized camp. I don't think it'll always be. I think there'll be times where it happens. And if it happens and it's done in a very disruptive way, then we'll deal with it. If it's just people are camping the camp that you want to be at, then we're hoping to put more camp variety and more items that sort of replicates, that touch on the same desires. So you've got multiple routes to that same item. Bubonic said, to be fair, my favorite thing in EQ is not getting the item. The same reason why Souls games and dying so much, you finally succeeded. Yeah, I mean, my hands were sweating when the guy finally showed up. I got super lucky right after that on the same tune. When I was popping over to see if the is it Fishbone Earring was available. More random spawn times and less 18-hour respawn times. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Higher frequency with lower RNG. But that said, I think the thing that happened with EQ was there was no expectation that people would just sit there and wait or sit in the zone and wait, and now we know better, right? But that said, I don't know that I dislike that mechanic. Right? That idea of something may spawn every 18 hours, 24 hours, 7 days, 20 days, under weird conditions, and you think it's a long respawn time, but what you don't know is they only spawn when all 3 moons are full. Shit like that. It's just... So it's what kind of chair do I have here? Oh, it's just a generic. I got it in Sweden. I don't even. I think it's like called a Taurus or something. Nope, just Taurus. That's the name of the chair. It's a Taurus. Like an old Ford. I'm fairly certain. Needs coffee, but are you having fun? What do you think about loot system where every item the mob can drop will drop, but only one of the items can be looted per kill? I don't like it. Feels too gamey. Also, then you only have to kill them, what, 3 times to get your item? So is the rarity just in the dude showing up? Anything we do to mitigate the rarity removes the feel. And it feels like there's plenty of games that exist where you don't have to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like when folks are like, ah, man, but you know, having to wait or having your fate decided by RNG or having to invest the time and all that stuff. Like there are a lot of games that cater to that instant gratification these days. I mean, hell, you can just buy the item. But you know, to the point, like Mantis Box are saying, yep, I want to be able to see only a few people with a certain kind of weapon, right? Like seeing people and go, holy shit, that guy's got that. Like, how do you do that? It can either be through like RNG and long camps, rarity, or it can be through skill. And for a long time, games have pushed into skill, right? And so then it's like, you know, Mythic plus plus plus, super, you know, super skill-based game knowledge, plus you have to have every add-on, plus you have to do this, plus you have to have that, and you've got things happening and 500 elements on your UI and all this other shit. And then maybe you'll see the people that are the best at that shit running around with something. You're like, oh my god, they have that. But that's not us. Ulthrax said, so I ended up here by accident, clicked a book in Inithil Swamp, and ended up in a Shard of Decay, and then when I left, it brought me here. That's awesome. How do you keep, how do you keep the WoW? How did he get that cool weapon from turning into WoW? That guy spent 15k on an FBSS, had his guild camp it for his twink. When you look at the guy, do you still say, wow, how did he get that cool weapon? Well, even no trade. I mean, you can get people summoned in or walked to loot and all sorts of stuff. Right? There's typically a way around it unless you put in strict level requirements to loot it, and then like you can add a bunch of stuff to make it so that that person, that twink, doesn't get it. Yeah, but the more of those restrictions and requirements you put in, the more it just feels like, eh. So if there's a rare item where I'm level 50 or something, and I'm like, and I see that item on a person, and I'm like, wow, that's badass. I can't get access to that. If I were to see that same item on a level 10, that to me, I'm like, holy shit, how'd that level 10 get that? That's even more badass. And now a lot of other people may go, oh, that's such bullshit. They have a guild that, you know, that actually took that low level person in there and let them loot that. That's so unfair. But life's kind of unfair, and I guess if you were in that guild and getting the opportunity to get it, you'd be pretty amped. Now, if one guild is monopolizing a spawn forever, then that's something we can look at. Either we need to look at whether or not there are alternate items that fill that same sort of best in slot or fill that role, and is there availability there? Is it getting to the point where that guild's just being disruptive? Then we'll talk to them. That poor ogre is getting killed because I'm not paying attention. Oh, wow. Is that you? Is that you, Therion? Yeah, so that's my bad. Ending Aura said, so take Epic. Sucks that some classes will get them and others would be almost unattainable. Not just not the same playing field. Is that an issue with the quests themselves? Am I missing something? Yeah, so I mean, if that's what you mean, Aura, then yeah, that's something we should probably look at. Discord EQ, did I thank you for the follow 9 minutes ago? I might not have. Beast Lord Epic was super simple. You want to know why the Beast Lord Epic was so simple? Or easy? I can tell you a secret on that one. The Beast Lord Epic was pretty easy to do because like a couple weeks... Oh, let me thank you. Frickin', I don't... They don't support my keyboard on here. So the reason why the Beast Lord Epic was simple was because right before Luckland came out, the developers realized that the Beast Lord Epic Quest had not been made. And honestly, they didn't have a ton of... The Beast Lord was not very well fleshed out at that point. One of the more senior designers looked at me and said, "Hey, Sean, we need an epic quest for the Beast Lord." And I said, "What is the Beast Lord and how does it function?" And and they're like, "Here's some rough ideas. We're not 100% sure." And I was like, "How long do I have to put the epic quest in?" They're like, "Could you get it done before the end of the week?" And I said, "Yep, I'll get it done for you." So I put in the epic quest as an apprentice designer. Terry Styles, thank you for the follow. Look at that fancy person. See, that's cool. That person looks fancy. So if you did the Beast Sword Epic, if it was easy, you can thank me for it. If you felt that if you didn't like it, if you're just like, that wasn't very interesting, then I apologize. That was my year one design chops at work. Beast Lord felt like was kind of tossed together to help sell Luckland. Luckland was kind of tossed together to help sell Luckland. That was one of those, it was a super ambitious plan without a lot of planning. Shra Temple. Shra Temple is pretty cool. I did the basement of Shra Temple. I hope that at some point the curse killed you. The whole temple is badass though. It was fun running through the temple even as a player, even though I'd seen it during development. Thank you, Riker. spent time down there farming greenish ore. I forget, was the basement of Shra Temple used for the Green Mist quest? Ah, for Shra Bane weapons. Okay, cool. Yeah, I couldn't remember how that one ended up getting wrapped up. Needs coffee, thank you for the follow. Bubonic said my first EQ experience was running a dwarf paladin from Butcher Block to Field of Bone. My brother-in-law's 56 druid invised in Iran. I was terrified the whole time trying to make it there. Those runs are so memorable. Sparrow said, with no snark intended, the MMO industry seems full of big ideas with no plan. Seems a bane of development. It's kind of, it's not just MMOs. It's kind of game companies a lot of times. Ventali. Yeah, I just hopped on here today because I actually wanted to commit to playing. I debated it with myself quite a bit. I really wanted to get in and play. So I got like a level and a half. Excuse me. And I figured if I'm going to be playing PQ, I might as well stream and hang out with you guys. Because I like you guys. You guys are my friends. Even those of you that may not even think so. You're like, ah, fuck that guy. Then it's okay. I still like you. As CGX said, there's a lot of game companies that don't even have big ideas, just vague hand-wavy vibes. Yeah, it's like... there are a few companies, they don't realize it because they don't realize it. Yeah, but you know what, I'm gonna stop. More than game companies, as a mechanical engineer, I can say it's true for all design development projects. I've got the feeling, so here's the thing. My wife is a dental surgeon, and I've learned a lot about the dental industry in, you know, the years since I've met her. It's scary to think, but I've got the feeling that many, if not all industries kind of work that way. Riker said, from my perspective, most games have great developers, but questionable designers. What if I were to tell you that design is just questionable? Being in the industry, seeing it working, seeing it working in it, and then starting your way. Yeah, it's been interesting to see how far that could be pushed. Because at the end of the day, like these games are always made by teams. I mean, unless you're Jonathan Blow or whatever. But most of these games require teams, and so it's never like one person's opinion or one person's experience or whatever. Right? Our team is sitting at like 19 people right now on M&M. And, you know, there's input. Matter of fact, as soon as I get done here, I'm just going to hop over into Slack and see what the team's talking about. Right? So then really the question is just how do you manage all of the input, and how do you guys resolve like what you're actually going to do, or what kind of sticks with the vision that you guys have established, all that shit. So it's but the hope was when we first started, when it, you know, when it was like Ollie, Nick, and I, and Bunny. I don't want to leave her off, but she's not around anymore. But you know, when we were talking about like, and even before Bunny, when it was just like us talking in Discord and stuff, you know, we had a pretty good idea of what we wanted to make. And we've been pretty good about sticking to just that direction. We deconstructed it pretty early on and like posted that. That's our air quotes roadmap that we've got posted. And you know, we've just tried to we've tried to stick with it, but even with that, there's been, we've had days or weeks or months where there's a lot of debate back and forth about whether or not something we're wanting to do is relevant to what we've been talking about doing, whether or not it's too risky, all that type of shit. So I would say one of the biggest challenges in making games as a team is building the right team. Just because, and I would say that goes not only for the development team, but all the way up through the management team. And if you're a company that's got a board of directors, who are they, right? So for us, we don't have a board of directors, which eliminates a certain number of opinions that we don't have to deal with. We've got, like I said, we're up to 19 people, but for the most part, I think we're flat in the sense that everybody on the team can contribute in ideas in different areas or provide feedback in different areas. But there's still a hierarchy in terms of how we make the decision as to whether or not that's a go. Otherwise, it would just be like, it'd be like a CJAC was saying above, right? The design is like, it's spins a wheel, open world, draws a card, deck building, rolls dice, roguelike. Okay, right? Like, the same thing happens if you've got a team where the belief is we're going to act on every single opinion of every member of the team. Well, that's random as fuck as well, right? So there basically has to be, and I've seen this with companies that were trying to go a lot more new school, where it's like, everybody gets a say, y'all. Like, and it's great that all folks get to be heard, but there still has to be, at some point, one or a few people that get together and go, yeah, but that's not sticking, right? And the hope is that in building the right team, folks understand that when you say, hey, I don't think that works, that decision's being made most times not out of ego, or that decision's, being made with a firm sort of like thought into the overall goals or vibe or whatever that you're trying to achieve. And it's like, hey man, I'm listening and I appreciate the ideas, but that doesn't work. And then hopefully the leadership on the team are also watching and going, like, a lot of shit that comes up, it's like, hey, I don't think that works, but we can come back to that if the other thing doesn't work. Or, hey, we really want to try this, and if it doesn't work, then we know what else we can do. It's not like we're just going, a random thing, and then, oh shit, it didn't work, what are we going to do? It's usually, hey, we have a good idea of like, let's at a minimum be able to do X. Cool. All right, we're agreed that X is that's a fair target. Now, if we want to modify that by 10% or 20% and make it a little bit more unique, then we can take that risk, knowing that if that thing that is 20% different or 30% different isn't working the way we thought, we can come back to X. It's not like a big derailment, right? We're not going off in la la land. As CJack said, someone has to be able to do the work and listen to all that input and then synthesize and curate it into something strong, and then inspire the team into building that strong vision together. Yeah, and I think there's some tricks with that. When I was at my last company, and I guess your last company, I don't know if you're still there, CJack. I think a lot of times there was a belief that if you come up with the perfect vision statement, it's like, hey, I've written out the perfect sentence that then when 100 people read the sentence, they're gonna know, right? Like, oh shit, this is the vision. Or like, I've got the perfect mission, vision, and values, y'all. And if you take the mission statement and the vision statement and the 5 value statements and you combine those in your brain, then you're going to know what you're supposed to be doing. And that's not how leadership works. and it's not how leadership works or creative leadership. And so it's really got to be sort of like a, hopefully you get people in charge of those creative teams that earn enough respect that folks are willing to listen to them. Here's the thing, like we're fortunate because we've got really smart folks on the team. You know, we started the team with exceptionally smart folks. Ollie and Nick are incredibly smart. On just the general brain side of thing, Ollie's one of the smartest people I've met, and he's just fucking super good natured, right? Nick's like understanding of gameplay and retention of, you know, MMOs for the last whatever 20 years now or something is incredible, right? And as we've added to the team, we've added people that speak the same language. And so it's helped. Sometimes we've added people that didn't really speak the language. They maybe spoke a different dialect of the language or weren't, you know, necessarily vibing in the same way. And they're all good people, but, you know, that kind of, there's a sort of self-sorting process that happens over time. And I think the team is, you know, pretty in alignment. But it also, it's one of those things you don't know, right? Like I can only speak for myself. I think, you know, Ollie's probably got a different a worldview, belief set, or whatever. Nick's different, you know, all the way down the line, different folks. I'm always thinking that the team's probably like, oh, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. You know what I mean? Like, there's always that in the back of my head of like, oh, crazy Uncle Sean saying some random shit on Twitch again, right? Like, you know, cringe, yikes, oof, all the stuff that people on the internet say these days. So that's the challenge with being in a creative leadership position. You know, John Blakely, he was the executive producer of EQ2 at the time. When I became the content lead on DC, like went over there. And he was like, "Hey, you know, one of the things that, or maybe it was when I became design lead on EQ. I can't remember. But he sent me an email and he's like, one of the things you'll figure out quickly about being in a creative leadership role is it's pretty lonely because of the fact that, you know, hopefully you've got people that you're working with that give you good feedback, and if they're not giving you honest feedback, then hopefully they realize that in not providing honest feedback, the ship's eventually going to get steered into the rocks. So I don't know. Ask some of the team in private if they're happy being on the team, if they think if the project's going in the right direction, or all of that good shit, and see, because I never know, but I just always assume that we could be doing a better job in terms of like communicating the vision and making sure stuff is steered properly or whatever. So it probably helps to be self-critical. I don't know. If we're successful, then we can look back and say it helped to be self-critical. If we're not successful, then everything I've been saying for the last bit is just all bullshit. Let's see. Oh, it's funny. Bubonic Blade. Star Stable is the only game I've seen that has a lore Bible that's like fully illustrated. It's like this thick, hardback or whatever. The weirdest thing though, when I was there, they had like, it's one of the things that blew me away and sold me on the company. I was like, this is the coolest shit. We didn't even get this from DC Comics when we were working on DC. Like, this is such a cool universe. And then I got there and realized the team didn't want to make that game. I was like, oh, well then. Oh well. In marketing really didn't want to make that game. CJX said, my interesting challenge these days is having inherited creative leadership for our game and needing to deeply understand the original vision, what the game has become through development and live service, and then working out how to find your own vision from there, or for where to go now while honoring those things. Yeah, it's pretty challenging. Don't mess it up. Well, the team need to be emotionally mature enough to be able to approach you and tell you if they're unhappy about something. Yes and no. I mean, that's not super common in game development, at least in my experience. You got a lot of folks that aren't necessarily they don't deal well with conflict, or they don't like to displease people, or they don't want to start shit. So I think it's the responsibility of leadership on creative teams to kind of always try to keep their finger on the pulse of things and ask a lot of questions. Like, hit somebody up. If somebody that's usually pretty talkative kind of goes quiet for a bit, shoot them a DM and be like, hey, how things going? Or if you notice there's like friction between team members, hit them up individually and get to the bottom of it, and then bring them together and hammer it out. If you're making decisions and you kind of get in the vibe that people are like, okay, sure, boss, then it's like follow up and be like, hey, no bullshit, man. Like, what are you thinking here? And yeah, it's easy to fuck that up as well, though, right? Like, it's easy to run into a situation where, like, as a leader, you're having a bad day or something like that, and somebody like pops off with something and it's like, blah, and then you pop off with, well, screw you, and then all of a sudden it's then that person, they may not want to talk to you or be honest again for a while, and it's like, oh fuck, I need to earn back that trust, right? So Eelmuck, thank you for the follow 12 minutes ago. I've been rambling, so I didn't do it on time as usual. So it's funny, like as TJack said, good leadership is an act of service to your team and audience. Ego will only get you so far. Yeah, I mean, but we all have ego as well, right? Like, and it's hard to check that sometimes, and it's hard to not get your feelings hurt sometimes, or it's hard not to believe in the thing that you put forward sometimes. So I mean, all this shit is hard. The reason why it sounds like a big emotional mushy mess is because it is, and that's why making video games is hard. One awkward thing can make energy funky with people. Yep, for sure. Was the befallen banker real? I don't remember. Plus, people got a lot of stuff going on in their lives. That's one of the things I found out. And then have forgotten in the past, and then been reminded of. Like, you'll have people that may go quiet, and it's got nothing to do with work. I've worked with people, and you have that conversation with them, and you find out like, oh, their spouse is dying, or the family member just died and they didn't tell anybody, or they've got a terminal illness, or they're going through a divorce, or they're addicted to something, and so again, that's the other thing, is like, our job on any team is to do the best possible thing for the individuals on the team, and sometimes that's I've worked with a team where people had not received raises in like 3 to 5 years, like across the board on the team. It was a very neglected team. I was the 13th producer in 9 years, and it wasn't Star Stable, don't worry. And one of the things I did for those people was, it was a 30 or 35 person team, and one of the things I try to do for most of those folks is, if I couldn't get them a raise, or I couldn't get them on a better team, I just helped them with their CVs and with their LinkedIn, and I just helped them all get different jobs. I was like, this company is not doing right by you, so let's get you somewhere else. So, and some of them got some pretty cool jobs. I mean, but we should be doing what's best for the people. And it's kind of like we were talking about before when someone's like, hey, this aspect of M&M doesn't seem cool to me. And I think the fair thing to do for that person is say, well, then the game's probably not for you. And that same thing happens on teams where it's like, hey, I'm unhappy on this team. Well, cool. Then we need to get you off the team. But because you're not going to be happy here. And it's better that someone is happy. You're only going to get X number of years in your life. Why stay on a team where you're not happy? Yep, healthy life and healthy mind makes for a healthy work and relationship. Yep, exercise does help. TJack said, if you like that incredibly deep hidden lore that Star Stable has and haven't played Fail Better games, suggest you check them out. Developer top secret lore Bible there is huge. Oh, interesting. Lilium said, true, people are people, things happen. I look at it from a CS medical team viewpoint. Didn't think that many teams were that different. Thanks for your insight, Tom. Yep. Okay. Okay, guys. Speaking of ego and shit, I'm gonna stop rambling on this because it feels like I'm either being pedantic or whatever. So I'm probably gonna wrap this up because we're coming up on 3 hours and 45 minutes of streaming. Exercise helps. That's why Sean hides his muscles under them baggy shirts. Yeah. Huge muscles. Chocolate Don said, you aren't just randomly tuned in and enjoyed what you had to say. Oh, right on. Thank you. Appreciate that. See, your feedback helps as well. Thank you, Drew Bull. Those of you that are here just to check out some Project Quarm, appreciate you being here. If you're not aware of the game that we're working on Monsters and Memories. You can either go directly to the website to learn more about it, or check this out. We are currently through Monday being featured in Reddit's MMORPG subreddit, Developer Spotlight. We have had a really great response there. We made a very cool post there that's got some nice GIFs and stuff that you haven't seen before. It links back to our brand new website. If you like it, give us an upvote. Last we checked, we were pretty close to being the most upvoted Developer Spotlight in the 2 years that we could find there. And so, you know, we're kind of competitive. We'd like to get that, but it looks like yeah, we'll be there through Monday. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. Give us a little bump up and we'll appreciate it. And there are a lot of questions asked and answered in that thread. So if you've got questions about the games that maybe aren't answered in FAQ and stuff like that, check that out as well. Cool. I'll do the thing where I say goodbye to everybody for the next few minutes. Sparrow, you're welcome for the stream and for the insights. Hopefully there was something you could pull out of that ramble. Keeves, always a pleasure to see you as well, my brother. Like I said, you've got to get on the Project Quarm so you can carry me come Kunark time. Positronic, have a good one as well. Sarinth, you're welcome. Numbly fans, good night. You guys in the US have a great rest of your Saturday. Lilium, you're welcome. Bubonic, thanks, buddy. Yeah, bring your entire family into the playtest. Don't forget, we've got a stress test coming up on the 11th. Monsters and Memories, that'll be our second game. We've got a stress test coming up on the 11th of this month, and that's in preparation for the open play test next month, and that the dates for that will be announced later. Insmit, thanks for being in the group, and apologies for probably almost letting you die several times. Gilmere, Thank you for that. And thanks for the kind words. Dadvik, see you. Darion. Goodbye. Yep. I'll be streaming my normal time. I'll be doing some Eminem stuff on Tuesday for sure. So be sure to hop in our Discord with like 5,000 other awesome Eminem fans now. And then you'll see when the team's streaming. So cool, guys. I am going to push the button soon and be out of here. Have a great I can't talk anymore. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday. Come on, buddy. The dog wants to be walked. Tell it. Have a great night. And dude, he looks so big. It's the fisheye lens. He's tiny. See you, Trevor. Okay, guys. I will see you. I will see you. See you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.